حسین بانٹ رہی ہے نجات لے جاؤ حسین بانٹ رہی ہے نجات لے جاؤ کچھ آنسوؤں کی وجہ کائنات لے جاؤ حسین بانٹ رہی ہے نجات لے جاؤ یہ کربلا ہے یہ معجزے نوما کی بستی ہے یہ کربلا ہے یہ معجزے نوما کی بستی ہے کفن میں سے کے لپیٹو حیات لے جاؤ حسین بانٹ رہی ہے نجات لے جاؤ شیر دیکھیے گا کہ نہیں کروں گا لحد میں میں انتظار صبر نہیں کروں گا لحد میں انتظار صبر فرشتوں پہ بلا راتوں رات لے جاؤ حسین بانٹ رہی ہے نجات لے جاؤ یہ شعر ماتمے کی نظر کر رہا ہوں کہیں گے ماتمی حلقوں سے لوگ محشر میں کہیں گے ماتمی حلقوں سے لوگ محشر میں کیا ہمیں حسین کی جنت میں ساتھ لے جاؤ حسین بانٹ رہی ہے نجات لے جاؤ شعر بطور خاص کے کہیں گی فاطمہ وقت ضرور مہدی سے کہیں گی فاطمہ وقت ضرور مہدی سے کہ لڑائی کے لیے غازی کو ساتھ لے جاؤ حسین बाँट रही है, निजात ले जाओ। आखिर में सब पेश करोगे। कसम हुसैन की कुर्सी में कम ही लगता है, कसम हुसैन की कुर्सी में कम ही लगता है कि बुलंद 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 जितना भी मातम में हाथ ले हुसैन बाँट रहे हैं, निजात ले जाओ। कुछ आंसुओं की वजह कायनात ले जाओ। हुसैन बाँट रहे हैं, निजात ले जाओ। मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद बुलंदर सलावत। मसले की चंद शराब की समातों में नजर करूं। आज भी ज़ैनब की आती है सदा भाई हुसैन। तमाम दीजिए। आज भी ज़ैनब की आती है सदा भाई हुसैन। तेरा चेहरा तेरी आँखें भूल कब पाई हुसैन। आज भी ज़ैनब की आती है सदा गुर्बत देखिएगा कि चलते नाके से गिराया खुद को जलती रेत पर। चलते नाके से खुद को जलती रेत पर घुटनियों के बल में तेरी लाश तक आई हुसैन। तेरा चेहरा तेरी आँखें भूल कब पाई हुसैन। आज भी ज़ैनब की आती है सदा भाई हुसैन। बस मैं घबरा ही थी खंजर तुझ पे चलता देख कर। तेरा चेहरा तेरी आँखें भूल कब पाई हुसैन आज भी ज़ैनब की आती है सदा और मोहब्बत वाले मोहब्बत बुलंदर सलावत।
صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
Up top. I'll move you 1 second. Give me 30 seconds. Get all the million microphones on you.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وخاتم الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على النبي الأمي العربي القرشي المدني الأبطحي التهامي السيد النبي السراج المضيء الكوكب الدري صاحب الوقار والسكينة المدفون بأرض المدينة حبيب إله العالمين خاتم النبيين سيد المرسلين شفيع المذنبين رحمة للعالمين العبد المؤيد الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على السيد المطهر الإمام المظفر الشجاع الغضنفر أبي شبير وشبر الأنزع البطين الأشرف المكين الأشجع المتين العارف المبين الناصر المعين ولي الدين سيد الوصيين علم الراشدين مولى الموحدين قبلة العارفين قائد الغر المحجلين قاتل الناكثين والقاسطين والمارقين أبو الغرر الميامين خليفة رسول رب العالمين فارس المؤمنين إمام المتقين قاتل المشركين مظهر الدين يعسوب الدين حبل الله المتين النبأ العظيم الصراط المستقيم الإمام المبين أمير المؤمنين الأسد الجبار حيدر الكرار صاحب ذو الفقار أخي النبي الأبرار أبو الآل الأطهار قسيم الجنة والنار فارس بدر وحنين وصاحب السيفين وأبو القبلتين أبو الحسن والحسين زوج مليكة الكونين إمام الثقلين هاشمي مكي مدني حجازي طالبي تقي نقي وفي بدي زكري علي ولي الله السيد الرضي الإمام الوصي المخلص الصفي المدفون بالغري مظهر العجائب ليث بني طالب مظهر الغرائب مفرق الكتائب الشهاب الثاقب أسد الله الغالب غالب كل غالب مطلوب كل طالب إمام المشارق والمغارب الذي حبه فرض على الحاضر والغائب مولانا ومولى الكونين علي بن أبي طالب. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على السيدة الجليلة المعصومة المظلومة الكريمة النبيلة المجهولة قدرا والمخفية قبرا والمدفونة سرا والمغصوبة جهرا الرضية الحليمة العفيفة السليمة سيدة النساء أم الأئمة النجباء بنت خير الأنبياء الطاهرة المطهرة البتول العذراء الفاطمة التقية الراضية المرضية النقية الزهراء البتول صلوات الله عليها. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على صاحب الدعوة النبوية والشجاعة العلوية والعصمة الفاطمية والكرامة الحسنية والتضحية الحسينية والعبادة السجادية والعلوم الباقرية والحجج الصادقية والحكمة الكاظمية والصبر الرضوية والجود التقوية والهداية النقوية والهيبة العسكرية والغيبة الإلهية سيف الله ولي الله نور الله باب الله خليل الله حبيب الله أمين الله عين الله جنب الله حجة الله خليفة الله المهدي المنتظر عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. قال الله العظيم في كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات سيجعل لهم الرحمن ودا آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the purification of the souls, the enlightenment of the hearts, the hastening of the reappearance of the awaited Savior, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, enlighten your souls and the atmosphere with the recitation of salawat upon Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ahlan Bizawar al-Hussein. It is a title or a statement that you and I have heard when we enter wonderful stations of love and generosity during this magnificent walk of the Ushaq of Sayyid al-Shuhada Aba Abdullah al-Hussein salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. In each and every Mokib that you and I have been blessed to take part, such as this wonderful Mokib, the caravan of the Hind and the 327 here, we have been welcomed, we have been looked after. One after the other, we've seen the kindness and the generosity of many who seek to indeed serve the Zuwar of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Despite having sore feet, despite having a sense of tiredness, it makes us forget any pains that we have when we see the eagerness that many have in order to make our journey comfortable, the journey towards the city of martyrs, the journey towards Karbala. Over the last few days, many of us have seen videos, and without shadow of a doubt, some of us have experienced the extensive kindness and generosity of the people throughout this walk. Personally, over the last few hours, there are a number of people who were distributing food who would not let me go other than by making sure that I would eat from their food. You and I have been touched by their indeed humility and their willingness to serve you and I and to create this atmosphere of ishq and love for the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam and for Sayyid al-Shuhada, no doubt. This 40 walk has broken record after record. Year after year, it increases in its number. It increases in its participation in the love of Sayyid al-Shuhada. In 2004, there were 4 million who took part in the 40 walk. Last year, in 2023, there were over 26 million of the Zuwar who took part. Likewise, we find in 2014, this 40 walk registered the world's largest Salatul Jama'ah, over 30 kilometers. In 2014, this was indeed witnessed. Similarly, the world's largest sufra, or food that's being served, is found in the 40 walk, 15 kilometers worth of food from the same particular distribution. Many a times, you and I come forward to this particular walk and ask the question, what is it that is special here? Why is it that people are so keen to help you and I, serve you and I, free of charge, and indeed make us comfortable, serve us in the best possible way? A few months ago, I was blessed to take part in the pilgrimage of Hajj. Whilst I was walking from the area known as Muzdalifah towards the land of Mina, with hundreds of thousands of others who have come to take part in the annual pilgrimage towards the sacred house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whilst we were walking in the scorching heat of the sun, there were many who were suffering with thirst. There were many who were affected by the heat of the sun. And I could see people in front of my own eyes collapsing due to heat stroke, due to the lack of the existence of water and services that were not provided for them. One thing that was constantly in my mind as we walked from that area towards the area of Mina, 40. How amazing is 40 compared to any other journey? This is in no shape or form to undermine the importance of Hajj and the pilgrimage. It's obligatory, it's highly recommended. But there is a secret that exists in 40 that you cannot find anywhere around the world, in any journey, in every place that you go to. There is a secret that you and I have discovered as we take these steps to paradise on earth. These individuals who seek to serve, these Khuddam of Hussein, have this secret. We recognize this secret. There is this sweetness, and that is the love of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein that Allah has placed in the hearts of Khuddam al-Hussein and in the hearts of Zawar al-Hussein. We recognize this does not exist anywhere else. These individuals in Mecca do not have that passion that exists in the 40 walk. The passion that we see, that's unmatched and unparalleled elsewhere. I ask you, this service that we and I witness, this generosity, did it start only a few years ago? Or do we have individuals throughout history that have marked their existence in the 40 walk and have highlighted the importance? There is an individual who lived 900 years ago. Listen to his story. His name is Jamal al-Din al-Musili al-Khulay'i. This man was born to Nasibi parents. His parents said, we want a child who will stop the ziyarah of Hussein and the 40 walk. When they were given this child, they dedicated the child when he becomes a teenager to stop the Zuwar. Where? In Mosul. Who were coming from Lebanon, from Jabal Amil towards Karbala. He was a young teenager. He stood there on the way in order to deter the Zuwar of Hussein from reaching Karbala. When he fell asleep, before the Zuwar would reach, he saw himself in Jahannam. He saw himself being punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he saw himself in Jahannam, he recognized that none of the hellfire is touching him. Yes, he can see himself engulfed in fire, but he did not feel any pain. He did not feel any suffering. So he asked the Malaika, why am I not being punished? He was told, when you were asleep on the path to Karbala, some Zuwar of Hussein walked past next to you. The soil from under their feet was placed on your body. that soil from the feet of Zawar al-Hussein is protecting you from Jahannam. He woke up, he sought tawbah, forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, made the journey to Karbala, paid respects to Sayyid Shuhada, then wrote these lines of poetry that today are placed on the darih of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. What are these lines of poetry? إِذَا شِئْتَ النَّجَاةَ فَزُرْ حُسَيْنًا. If you want victory and success, then visit Hussein. لِكَيْ تَلْقَ الْإِلَهَ قَرِيرُ عَيْنِي. Because you will meet Allah and Allah is pleased with you. فَإِنَّ النَّارَ لَن تَمُسَّ جَسَدًا عَلَيْهِ غُرَابٌ زُوَّارُ الْحُسَيْنِ. Because hellfire will not touch the body that has soil from under the feet of Zawar al-Hussein. Do not underestimate the power of these steps that you make to Abu Abdullah, the importance of these steps that you make to Hussein. The soil by which you step on is a blessed soil that has protected people from the chastisement of hell. How important is this journey? How magnificent is this opportunity? How beautiful is this gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's why I remember reading some of our maraja said, we became maraja because of the walk of Arba'een. Most of you have heard Ayatollah Muhsin al-Hakim, Ayatollah Khoi, Ayatollah Mar'ashi Najafi. They've all said, when we were students, we used to walk from Najaf to Karbala. When we walked from Najaf to Karbala, we would serve each other. Some of us would provide water, some would provide food, some would give comfort. Ayatollah Mar'ashi used to say that I didn't do any of this. My job was to make others happy by smiling and giving conversations. Then he concludes, he says, all these maraja' that you see, they became maraja' because of their walk to Hussein in Karbala and their participation in the Arba'een. This was what indeed made them so special. They recognized that status before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Question: is this walk that you and I undertake something that the Quran confirms? Is it something that the Ahl al-Bayt want us to do? Because last night I was doing an Instagram live. I was telling the world about the beauty of this walk, the generosity of the people, the kindness that you and I witness. Some people ask this question: is this allowed? Why aren't we not taking transportation? Each and every one of you here made those steps. Each and every one of you has walked. You have pain, yet at the same time you've recognized its importance. Why is it that we don't just take a transport, just take a car or a bus or in any other vehicle, just go towards ziyarah? Why is it that we walk? Tell me. Has this been something that we've been thinking about? No doubt. The Quran comes forward and says that the act of walking is a blessed act, an act that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages, an act that Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala increases in nur if it's for ibadah. What do you mean? Please understand this. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala says, أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مَيِّتًا فَأَحْيَيْنَاهُ. Those who are dead, we give them life. وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُ نُورًا يَمْشِي بِهِ فِي النَّاسِ. We will give them light that they will be illuminated when they walk, when they take those steps amongst the people. Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi comes forward and indeed in Kamil al-Ziyarat tells us these steps to Hussein. Whenever we walk to the shrine of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, it is so highly rewarding. Listen to the magnificent words of Ali Muhammad. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam says, every step you take to Karbala, entirely your sins will be forgiven. And when you reach Karbala, Allah will call and say, oh my malaika, bear witness that my servant has made these steps to the shrine of my loved servant Hussein. Now, whatever he or she asks me, I will fulfill for them. Whatever he requests, I will make sure that they attain. They are ones I am pleased with. They are ones that I am happy with. These steps are ones that the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam have asked us to undertake. You tell me, why don't we take a vehicle? I am following in the footsteps of the Ali Muhammad, who have told me to walk to Karbala, who have told me to witness and to feel the struggle and the pain. This is spiritually uplifting. When I go through struggle in life, I will remember the struggle that I undertook in this walk. I remember the pain that I endured when I went from Najaf to Karbala. It teaches me patience, perseverance. It teaches me submission and surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, this walk, my dear mu'mineen, O lovers of Hussein, is a demonstration of the wilayah of Ahl al-Bayt. Wallah, when you walk and you see the lovers of Hussein everywhere, these slogans everywhere, these demonstrations of the wilayah of Ali Muhammad everywhere, it pumps your body, your soul, every particle of your existence with the element of pride that we and I are of the followers of Ahl al-Bayt. How much does this walk do to our identity? Please understand this. Our identity as the Shia of Ali, our identity as the lovers of Ahl al-Bayt. Some of us live in the Western world. We are told, don't identify yourself as a Shi'i. Maybe that will cause problems for you. Maybe that will bring about harm for you. Some others refuse to identify themselves being associated with Ali Muhammad. Why? They say it causes sectarianism, it divides you from the other Muslims. Not at all. The Arba'een walk is the walk of the identity of the followers of Ahl al-Bayt. I remember one individual once telling me, it's sufficient for you and I to be called Muslim. Why do you need to call yourself a Shia of Ali? I said to him, listen very carefully. When you and I travel to countries around the world, we are traveling with passports. Do you agree? We enter countries with passports, but majority of the countries require visa. A passport is not sufficient. A passport will not allow you to enter those countries. He said, very well. I said to him, listen very carefully. The passport to Jannah for me is Islam. The visa to Jannah for me is Ali ibn Abi Talib. This is my visa to paradise, my path to salvation. This is my identity. The Arba'een walk affirms this in my heart. When I see millions of the lovers of Ali, millions of the lovers of Hussein together, congregated with the slogans of Labbayka ya Hussein, with the slogans of what? Of the love towards Ali Muhammad. This gives me strength. This gives me confidence. This allows me to stand strong in the face of oppression against the followers of the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam. It's a message of defiance. It's a message of resistance against those who wish to tackle and bring down the followers of Ahl al-Bayt. Likewise, it reaffirms my aqeedah in these individuals who are chosen by Allah. Do not underestimate what the Arba'een walk does to your iman and belief. I remember reading one young child, listen to the story, one young mu'min, follower of Ali Muhammad, who would undertake the Arba'een walk, 12, 13 years old. These children that you and I see, saying Labbayka ya Hussein, offering us tissues and water, offering us drink, offering us food. What a wonderful sight to see these children serving in the name of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. This is a wonderful message of bringing up our children in the service of Sayyid al-Shuhada. When we see all these children, one young man says that after coming back from Arba'een, I was so charged with wilayah. I was beaming with the light of Ali Muhammad. What happened to me? I was where? I was at school in a country that does not respect the followers of Ahl al-Bayt, in a country where there is Shia phobia. He says, I was in this particular class, my teacher was describing the biography of the life of the Holy Prophet. He said he did not mention Ghadir Khum. He whizzed past and did not mention this important incident. So I looked at him and said, sir, isn't this significant? Isn't this important to mention? He said, no, because Ali was declared a friend of the Prophet on the 18th of Dhul Hijjah. Nothing else, nothing more. I said, very well. I waited. After a while, he requested me to be in charge of the class when he left for a few minutes, as it is the practice in many countries. He left for a few minutes and said, this boy will look after the class, everybody listen to him, I'll be back in 5 minutes. When he came back, this young man said, I looked at him and said, sir, I have a problem and I'm confused. He said, what's your confusion? He said to me, you have demonstrated something which makes you greater than Rasulullah. He said, how? He said, you left for 5 minutes a classroom of 25 students and you left me in charge of it. Yet you believe Rasulullah left the religion of Islam without appointing a successor. How is that possible? The teacher became angry, said, you are suspended. You're no longer part of the school. Go to see the head teacher. He goes to see the head teacher. When he sees the head teacher says to him, what happened? He said, this is what happened. He said, tomorrow come back with your wali, your guardian, someone who's in charge of you, and we will sign the papers. No longer are you permitted to stay in the school. When he leaves, next day he comes back. The head teacher said to him, where is your wali? He says, he's waiting outside. He said, bring him. He brings him. Who is it? His friend. The moment he enters, the teacher says, how dare you? I told you bring your wali. The student, the young boy, the muwali, the lover of Ali said, sir, but your teacher and your school has taught us that wali means friend. He said, wali does not mean friend. Wali means someone in charge who has authority. The student stood up and says, I am leaving the school, but listen very carefully. When the Holy Prophet stood on the plains of Ghadir and raised the hands of Ali so that every individual can see and hear, and said, Man kuntu mawla, fahada aliyul mawla. He did not say, whomsoever I am the friend, Ali is the friend. He declared, whomsoever I am the authority, Ali is the authority. Whomsoever I am in charge of, Ali is in charge of. Because wali means someone chosen by Allah, despite whatever you think. This is the impact of Arba'een. This is the message of Arba'een, the message of Wilayah. But Arba'een is also the message of Bara'ah. That in Arba'een we declare that I am a Rafidi and I am happy to be a Rafidi. I reject the enemies of Ali Muhammad because I walk to Karbala saying what? Saying, Ya Aba Abdullah, I distance myself from those who participated in the killing of you and your family and companions, but whomsoever is pleased with what happened in Karbala. Arba'een is a journey of dissociation of Bara'ah. Today this message is very, very clear. My dear sisters and brothers, listen to this very carefully. When we walk and take these steps to Karbala, we are declaring and making a stance that you and I are not only the followers of the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim as-salam, but we will never compromise our belief and our association and our attachment and the willingness to die for Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawatullahi wa salam alayhi. And one of these aqaid and beliefs is the iman of Abu Talib. Why? Wallah, when I was walking a few hours ago, I saw Mokib named after the believing uncle of the Holy Prophet. Because the world unfortunately wants you and I to be corrupted with the thoughts about these holy individuals. A few months ago, I was blessed to visit the grave of Amina, the mother of the Holy Prophet, 250 kilometers away from Medina, 3 hours. This grave is deserted, nobody's there. I reached there with difficulty. The taxi driver refused to take me there. I had to beg him. When eventually he got me there to an area known as Abwa, a village where Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam was born. I went there, the grave was deserted, but I noticed one thing about it, and I recorded it. The grave of Amina, the mother of Rasulullah, the best and the choicest of God's creation, was not only deserted, was not only one that did not have any zawar, but the grave was burnt. The grave was burnt. They had placed different types of material that caused it to be what? Black. I saw the impact of its burning. These individuals, unfortunately, they believe that the Prophet's father and mother are disbelievers. They believe that the uncle of the Holy Prophet Abu Talib, disbeliever. When we walk in Arba'een, we're saying what? We're saying this is our Aqidah when it comes to Abu Talib, when it comes to Abdullah, when it comes to Amina, when it comes to these holy individuals. Let the world know, whatever happens, they will always be in our prayers and in our existence. And I remember in Jannatul Mu'alla, when I was standing there paying respects for Abu Talib salamullahi alayhi, one of them said to me, this is shirk, this is haram, he is in hell. I said to him, listen, I am going to make a dua. You raise your hands, and if you agree with this dua, then say Ameen. He said, okay. I raised my hands and said, Ya Allah, raise me with Abu Talib. Whatever is Abu Talib in Akhirah, I want to be with him. And raise this man on the opposite side of Abu Talib. He said, Ameen. We both made our way happily. That is not a problem for you and I to declare and to ensure that this iman in these holy individuals exists and it's never compromised. Here is the thing. Our aqidah in wilayah of Ali Muhammad is a red line, and Arba'een establishes this. Arba'een gives us the message of defiance. You see pictures of shuhada, you see individuals who have laid down their lives for you and I to be able to take part in this magnificent walk of ishq and love. My dear mu'mineen, oh lovers of Ahl al-Bayt, oh lovers of Hussein, an important message from the walk of love and the walk of generosity is khidmah, servitude. How amazing that we learn from these khuddam, including this blessed Mokib. They will do absolutely everything for our sake. They will serve us whatever it takes. They want to make us happy and have that smile in our face and that comfort. This khidmatul Hussein is such an honor. Is khidmatul Hussein is a tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can I take this message home? Can I walk and say I want to be also khadimul Hussein? Can I make a difference in my life going back and indeed serve others in the name of Sayyid al-Shuhada? When I do so, I have carried the message of the Arba'een walk. I have truly understood what it means to embark on the ship of salvation, and that's Abu Abdullah. I remember one of the ulama, his name is Sheikh Aqil Hamdani. He's still a great historian here in Karbala. He says that there was a khadim of Hussein by the name of Haj Abu Zainab at the time of the wretched dictator Saddam. And you know, we are walking and we sometimes forget that before 2003 there were many who walked to Karbala through villages and farms. They were captured and executed. There were many who are not able to undertake the walk the way you and I are able to. This is a golden time for the Shia of Ali. This is a magnificent opportunity that most of us have. Maybe our children may not have this. Cherish these moments as you walk to Karbala. That opportunity given to us. He says this khadim was someone who used to provide the zuwar with rugs to sit in the shrine of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And this was not available to them back at the time of the wretched dictator. After 2003, he continued the khidmah of Abu Abdullah. What happened to him? He said, one day we were coming back from Karbala. He said to me, Shaykh, next Thursday I won't be able to join you. I won't be here. He said, where will you be? He said, Inshallah, I am planning to be with Hussein. He said, how do you know? Do you have ilmul ghaib? He said, I have confidence that I won't live anymore. He said, why? He said, Shaykhuna, a few days ago I saw myself in a dream on a shore next to the sea, and there were thousands of people being led on small boats towards a magnificent, grand, hugely admirable, beautiful ship that I've never seen anything like that before. He said, we were told to embark this ship. The moment we embarked the ship, I asked those who were helping us, what is this ship? They said, هذه سفينة الحسين. This is the ship of Hussein. إن الحسين مصباح الهدى وسفينة النجاة. Hussein is the ship of salvation and the lantern of guidance. He said, I was so delighted that I've embarked the ship of Abu Abdullah. At that moment, I saw some people throwing themselves off the ship onto the sea, and I was distraught. I said to some creations of God that were completely white, I couldn't see their faces, I said, why are they throwing themselves from the ship of Hussein? Let me save them, let me help them. They said, no, you can't help them. Why? Because they have lost Hussein. They did not understand him. They did not serve him. They were given the opportunity to be part of his ship, yet they abandoned him. No doubt, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, Salamullahi alayhi, has invited each and every one of us to undertake this walk. Has invited us to undertake this aza, to shed the tear in his memory and what happened on the 10th of Muharram. Our mission and our message and our commitment in this walk is never to abandon Abu Abdullah. Is never to lose that spirit of Hussein, is to be Husseini in every sense of the word, to spread his universal teachings all around the world. Each and every person who walks to Karbala is an ambassador of the Arba'in walk. Never let the heat put a negative image in your mind. When you go back home, people will tell you, how was the walk to Karbala? Tell them it was amazing. Tell them it was life transformational. Tell them it was something that you wish to do every single year. Be someone who is an advocate for this walk of freedom, for this walk of ishq and love. Be an individual who draws people towards the university of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. We were born Husseini, we live Husseini, and we will die Husseini. Allahu Akbar. Can you imagine? Those enemies of Abu Abdullah, they sought to what? They sought to ensure that the voice of Hussein does not reach the world. And we are ensuring that Hussein's voice is reaching the world. They sought to ensure that Hussein's remembrance is not adhered to, but we are agents of causing his remembrance to reach all around the world. We say to him, Ya Abu Abdullah, we strike our chests with our hands in your remembrance. But that striking of the chest that we do for you, that striking resembles that commitment that we give to you as we walk towards your shrine, as we walk towards your sanctuary, Ya Hussein. And I ask you, being a Shi'i, being a lover of Ali and Fatima, being under the dua of Imam Sahab al-Asr wa al-Zaman, al-Mahdi al-Muntazar, Ajjal Allah Ta'ala Farajahu al-Sharif. Every step that we take, every khadim that we see, every mokib that we enter, remember Sahib al-Asr wa al-Zaman, remember al-Mahdi al-Muntazar, remember the Imam of our time. No doubt, dedicate these steps towards him. Pray for him, because he is praying for us, because he is pleased with us, the Zuwar of Hussein, those who are taking these wonderful steps to paradise on earth. Being a Shia of Ali and the lover of Ali has its costs, no doubt. You see the shuhada, those who were torn into pieces because they were labeled as the followers of Ali. You see them, they're young. Daesh was only 50 kilometers away from this area. They said, we will make sure that Karbala and Najaf will no longer function, that the domes will be destroyed completely. That was their mission. But these brave individuals who are like you and I, were those who are khuddam. Whilst I was speaking and researching about those who have mokibs, I came to this conclusion and marked these words. Many who gave their lives and were shuhada in the battlefield against the scum of the earth, Daesh, were khuddam in the journey, in the Arba'in walk. They used to serve here in the mokibs. The moment the fatwa came of al-marja'iyya, they rose to the challenge. They left the khidmah, but they are the product of the khidmah of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. That servitude enabled them to give their lives for Abu Abdullah and the protection of the Zuwar and what? And the ziyarah of Sayyid al-Shuhada, no doubt. But I ask you, in Karbala, that association with Ali and Fatima, that relationship with Ali Muhammad, what did it produce? What was the result of it? We are told in narrations that the La'in Umar bin Sa'ad, when he made a declaration about trampling the bodies of the Shuhada, he said, "O horsemen, sharpen your hooves and trample on the body of Habib." Bani Asad said, "We will not allow you to do this because he's part of our family." Umar bin Sa'ad said, "O horsemen, instead trample on the body of Hur." But Bani Ziyad said, "We will not allow you to do this because he is one of us." He said, "Oh my horsemen, crush the bones of Akbar." But Bani Thaqif, from the mother's side of Ali al-Akbar salamullahi alayh, said, "We will not allow anything to happen on the body of Akbar." And so one after the other, tribes would emerge and protect the bodies of their fallen loved ones. Umar bin Sa'ad said, "Is there a body in Karbala that does not have someone to protect it? Is there a body that does not have someone that will claim it?" They said, "The body of Hussein, for he is the son of Ali and Fatima." There were 10 horsemen. Each horse has 4 hooves. That's 40 hooves. Umar bin Sa'ad said, "Sharpen those hooves and dig them on the chest of Hussein." Imam Sahib al-Zaman says, "Oh my grandfather, when you were still alive, Umar bin Sa'ad said to the horsemen, 'Step on the body of Hussein.'" Imam al-Zaman in Ziyar al-Nahiya says, "My grandfather, your bones were crushed whilst you were still alive, Ya Aba Abdullah." Imagine, Imam al-Hussein felt the hooves on his chest. He felt the broken ribs on his chest. Maybe it was part of Allah's plan. Why? So that Hussein feels how his beloved mother Fatima's ribs were crushed. Hussein wanted to feel how mother Fatima was crushed between the wall and the door. When they were indeed going on the body of Abu Abdullah, the riwayah says his body was turned upside, so they crushed his back, they crushed his front. Imam Zayn al-Abidin was inside the tent. He said to his auntie Zainab, "I hear glass shattering." Sayyidah said, "This is the chest of your father being crushed." Zayn al-Abidin. In Kufa, another moment where the family of the Ahl al-Bayt were put in a difficult position because whom? Because they were the members of the family of Ali and Fatima. The riwayah says when the women were brought in Kufa, they were looked at by the women, they were looked at by the men and the children, laughed at. At that moment, the La'in Umar bin Sa'ad and Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad said that what? That humiliate them, degrade them. Some of their families in Kufa came forward and said, "We will not allow you to do this for our women." Each and every tribe came forward and said, "We will not allow you to speak ill of our women amongst the captives." They began to protect their own women. All of a sudden, Imam Zayn al-Abidin, listen to the riwayah, he says, "I saw tribes protecting their own women. Then I had my head down all of a sudden. I did not want to look at my auntie Zainab. She came forward and said, 'Who is going to protect us? I am the daughter of Ali and Fatima. Is there anyone to protect me and my sisters and the women of Ahl al-Bayt? Is there anyone who will do this?'" Yes. Back what? When they reach the Sham in the courtyard of Yazid al-La'in, Sayyida is there, the children of Imam al-Hussein, the women are chained. In which way are they chained? The narration says that Imam Zayn al-Abidin says, Wallah, those women of Ahl al-Bayt, the moment we left Kufa, I was chained to the extent that my hands were next to my neck. Like this. And they did not use wood, they did not use what? Normal ropes. They used metal chains. They chained my hand to my neck. He said, that moment I saw that the chains from my hands to neck were connected to the hands of the daughters of Ali and Hussein. Imam Zayn al-Abidin said, when we were dragged from one place to another because of the chains, if one of us were slower, Shimmer would whip the daughters of Ali and Hussein. When we reached Sham, Imam said, that moment we entered the city, the La'in Shimmer said, take them to an area where there are Jews and Christians. He said they took us to this area where the inhabitants were Jews and Christians, and they made the call. These people, their fathers killed your fathers. He said at that moment they began to take stones and they took sticks and they started to hit us with stones and sticks. Sayyida Zainab said, in that place I saw a person pour hot water on the head of Zayn al-Abidin. When they reached where? When they reached the courtyard of Yazid, they were chained sitting in that place. The wife of Yazid emerges. Hind was a servant in the house of where? In the house of Ali and Fatima. She did not know what was happening. The moment she emerged, she looked at those people. She said, what are these people doing here? They said that they are captives. They are individuals that have come from Medina. She came forward. She saw a lady who was chained, who had what? Who had soil on her head, who had her outer garment hijab taken away. She sat there with her head down. She looked at her and said, oh lady, I heard you're from Medina. She said, yes, we are from Medina. She said, tell me of the house of Ali and Fatima. How is the house of Ali and Fatima? Who do you want to know? The lady looked at her. She said, I want to know about Hussein. Tell me about the brother of Hussein, Abbas. Tell me about the son of Hussein, Akbar. Tell me about the other sons of Hussein. But especially, I used to love being with the sister of Hussein, Zainab. Tell me, where is Zainab? What's the news of Zainab? Are they well in Medina? That lady lifts her head. She said, if you want to know about the son of Ali and Fatima, you ask me about Hussein. Look behind you. Your husband is poking the eyes of Hussein with a stick. He is poking the lips of Hussein with a stick. Your husband has poured alcohol next to the head of Hussein. Allah. This is the crimes, yes, the crimes of these wretched individuals. If you ask me about Abbas, then Abbas's head next to Hussein, you'll see a part of an arrow on his left eyes, and you'll see his body next to the Furat without arms. If you ask about Zainab, Zainab left Medina honored. Zainab today is imprisoned. You are looking at Zainab. This Hind immediately looks at Zainab, notices that Zainab is the imprisoned Zainab. Her heart is broken for Zainab. But that Zainab, when she looked at Hind, when she looked at the women crying, when she looked at their torture and the torment, imagine what was going through Sayyida Zainab's mind. You and I are walking from many different places coming towards Karbala. There is heat, but the moment we want to rest, we take a rest. The moment we want water, we are given water. The moment we want shade, we're given shade. I ask you, Zainab, when she wanted water, what would she given? When Zainab wants any shade, what shade was she given? Instead of the water, she would get the spear of Shimmer. Instead of the shade, they'd place her under the burning rays of the sun. Zainab, and those moments in Karbala, the poet says, she would recall in this journey, we are taking the steps of Zainab. Remember the pain of the daughter of Ali. Yes, she would remember what? She would remember the pain of her mother Fatima. She would say to her mother Fatima, according to these words of poetry, "Oh mother Fatima to Zahra, now after Karbala I truly know your pain. Mother, you held your son Muhsin in your hands. I held Asghar in my hands. Mother, you lost your Muhsin, I lost Asghar. But you looked at Muhsin and I looked at Asghar with an arrow in his throat." Oh mother Fatima, you had your ribs broken between the wall and the door, but I heard the ribs of Hussein crush under the hooves of the horses. Oh mother Fatima, you had the house being burnt and I saw it, and I saw the tents being burnt that night. But this breaks the heart. Ajarakum Allah. I'm sorry, Sahib al-Asri wa-Salam, forgive me. Mother Fatima, I saw that man slap you on the face, but now Shimmer slapped me on my face. Ya Hussein,